Hello YouTubers, Charles here, back with more Kerbal Space Program. And last time we had a contract to take temperature readings at a few locations, but one of those locations was basically 17 kilometers above this area. And our aircraft at the time could not fly that high. So we have a new aircraft that we're going to use now, and just before we do that, let's recap where we're at. We have a bit over 700,000 funds, we have 32 science, and I believe this is 28% reputation. So let's head out to the runway, and this was our ship last time. It now has an invalid part because it had the bigger parachute that we no longer have access to. It was just for testing. We now have this aircraft. It's a little bit longer. I added an extra fuel tank. We had two fuel tanks. I added oxidizer to one, and of course the new fuel tank also has oxidizer. But it also now has rockets on the side, and let's have Valentina pilot this one. So let's head out to the runway. Ooh, not sure what that bounce was. Let's put the brakes on, let's prevent it rolling. But we have two rocket engines on the side, and the plan is to try to get up to at least 10 kilometers. The previous aircraft could get up to about 12. So we're going to try to get at least 10, and then light these, and hopefully they'll give us the thrust to get the rest of the way up. At some point this is going to flame out because of lack of oxygen, but hopefully we'll have enough fuel here. We have basically 180 of liquid fuel and oxidizer. Well, 180 liquid fuel. The rest of the 90 is basically jet fuel because there's not enough oxidizer for it. Had to move the wings back to accommodate the balance change so that the center of lift would be behind the center of mass. Hopefully it won't be an issue as we use up all that liquid fuel. I hope it won't be. Let's turn on SAS. We can leave the we need to get these in the correct stages. There we go. We'll stage to those once we get up high enough, and then we have 4 parachutes in case we need them. So let us remove the brakes and stage here, and hopefully we should be able to lift off without too much trouble. We're a little heavier, but pulling up, and there we go, nose up. And let's actually activate navigation. Let's roll here. And we can throttle all the way up. We need to get going. Location isn't too far away. I think it's over the middle of this water or something. But it is high up. We need to get basically 17 kilometers up. And this is a good angle right now. We're still picking up speed, which is good. At some point we won't be. I think once we get up to this thinner atmosphere is when we'll start having problems. Yeah, we're slowing down. We're probably just going to stop around the 100 meters per second. But if we can keep at this rate of climb, at least until 10 kilometers or so, I think we'll be doing good. Probably not going to do a time lapse here, because we should be getting this pretty quickly. As long as our intake air stays above, say, 0.2, we'll be doing good. Alright, we are currently in the area, but we are not nearly high enough. Yeah, so it is basically over the middle of the water here. We're basically a third, or maybe a little less. We're about a third of the altitude we need to be at. We are slowing down. Let's do a less steep climb here so we can get our speed back up. We'll probably fly out a bit and then turn around and come back, hopefully gaining altitude the whole time. See, our speed is picking back up. But yes, we're not climbing nearly as quickly as we were originally. But I think, once we get to about 10 kilometers, we'll nose up, light the rockets, and hopefully that will get us the height we need. Just take a temperature reading up there, and we should be good. Looks like the location is still in front of us, so maybe it's actually on the shore here, but they give you a wide circle to take the reading in. I think it's my feeling that the ones in the air, they give you a bigger circle, because the one on the ground was pretty small. I flew past it last time without noticing it originally, and had to turn around and come back. The ones in the air are bigger. The ones on the ground, they feel that you can drive to them after you land, so it's not quite as a generous range. Alright, we are up in the thinner atmosphere now. Our intake air has dropped, but we're still going up, so that's good. Theoretically, I think we're still in the area. I haven't seen the leaving message yet. I think as soon as I do see the leaving message, I'll turn around and head back. Our last plane could only get 12.5, or I don't think we hit 13 kilometers, but we're still going up here. Not quickly, but we're still going up. Although our rate of ascent has decreased, and our intake air is decreasing. At some point, we're probably already losing thrust on our engine. Yeah, thrust is way down. At some point, it won't be enough to keep us aloft anymore. There we go. Pull up a little bit. I don't care if we slow down, even down to 80 would be okay. I just don't want to drop. We got to keep this above the horizon, our prograde marker. And approaching 11 kilometers. I think I'm gonna turn around at this point, because we're basically starting to have trouble to keep our altitude. So I want to turn around back towards the point, and then we can light our engines and start going up more quickly and more significant. Yeah, getting hard to control here. doesn't want to pull up anymore. Alright, there's the point. Apparently we're still in the area. It's blinking means I believe. Trying to get that nose up. Alright, we are climbing again. And we are slowing down. Hit 50 or so. That's when I want to point these rockets, but I don't want to. Alright. We are having trouble. Let's stage. But I'm going to throttle down a bit. So we're going to go through this fuel quick. We're about to run out. Alright, we are above wrong fog temperature, and we got it. We're gonna keep that. Alright, we are nosing over here and on our way down. We almost hit 20 kilometers, 19 and a half. And we're out of fuel on these. We have 65 liquid fuel left. The engine, once we get enough air, should relight automatically. Wasn't paying attention to where it flamed out, but at some point it did. Alright, there we go. Back just at about a third. Don't need too much thrust. I'm going to try to land back at the Space Center for maximum recovery. We are heading down decently quick, but we are relatively high. So far we're okay. Although our fuel should only be in the back now, I think, maybe? Yeah. So our center of mass may be behind our center of lift. So if you have any indication of instability, I am going to pop the parachutes and land wherever we happen to be. Now, going rather quick for landing, but we're still somewhat high, so it's probably okay. We are slowing down, which is good. We need to turn here. That's going to bleed off some speed. Alright, we're under a kilometer. I'm gonna just throttle off here. Alright, that definitely killed a lot of speed. I'm going to put the engine on slightly. A little offline. drifted a little past. Let's kill that engine again. Alright, we're over the runway. We're coming down. Brakes. Ooh, big bounce there. Another one. We're slowing down. And look at that. We are down pretty much next to the spaceplane hangar. So let's recover. We earned 7.2 science. Got 100% value back. And Valentina didn't earn any XP. We did do a temperature scan, series of temperature scans, and got 55,000 funds, with the last one being this one, giving us almost 9,000, 3 science and 3 reputation. Alright, hey Gene, what is there now to do? Got some another visual surveys. This has 2 landed and 1 high. That, at least for now, until we get better engines, maybe a bit difficult. Polar satellite. Maybe good. Equatorial satellite. Equatorial satellite actually looks like it pays a bit better. Well, they both... This one expires real soon. Well, in a day or 2. I'm going to take both of them, because we can take 7. And, stack separator. That may be a bit slow for that altitude. Otherwise, I would do that. I'm going to take this one as well. We're going to probably be using a Terrier engine to get the satellite into position, so... I'll leave that for now. Alright, I'll be right back with our satellite launching craft, and then we can launch it. See you in a moment. Okay, here we are with the satellite launcher that I've designed. Wish I had a few more parts. You can see we're at 20 of 30, but like I'm lacking nose cones on these, and they also don't have a strut. I'm relying solely on the radial decoupler. However, we have one swivel engine with 5 of these tanks. Definitely having a larger fuel tank would have helped, I think. On top of that, we have a stage with one of the bigger tanks in a Terrier, and on top of that we have a smaller tank and a Terrier. Basically, we have besides the satellite contract, we have to test the Terrier, and we need to get in this height range. So I'm not sure if we'll be in that height range when this runs out. So if we're not, we'll have a little boost here, and then our final stage will get us into the proper orbit. We do have the materials bay, which we need to have on the satellite. Let's zoom in here. A little nose cone just for aerodynamics. We have 2 solar panels, so we can keep this thing charged. We also have a battery and an antenna on the Probodyne Octo probe core, and that will be our satellite. We have 3 solids this time. They're put at 75%. I'm basically hoping to get up pretty high before we have to use this stage. The intent is they all go off at the same time, but this stage will be pretty low thrust until the solids run out. So that's our satellite launcher, and let's see how this does. Alrighty, we are here on the launch pad. We're gonna throttle down to about a third. We have these solids that will get us there. We just need we even have the fins for control, so we don't really need too much out of the swivel engine, not the skipper, it's the swivel. You want the equatorial, and we're also going to do this, but we don't really. This isn't going to be an issue till we get near orbit. And just I'll get a view set up here. We're gonna go for this purple orbit closer, so it's easier. Plus, if we went for the equatorial one, which we are going to do eventually, but we'd have to time our launch window, so we'd be right under the green line, or else you'd need to do a big correction burn. Whereas equatorial, all we have to do is head east. We're basically always under the orbit at launch time, so we don't have to time our launch for a particular time of day. So let's turn on SAS and go for launch in 3, 2, 1. Lift off. And I'm gonna do a bit of a gravity turn here. Rolling a bit, but maybe that won't be too much of an issue. I'm still getting used to doing launches with the new atmosphere. Actually, I'm gonna try turning off SAS at this point. Alright, we're maintaining stability. Alright, we're approaching the speed of sound here, so the solids are going away. Theoretically, the craft will just fly itself, pretty much, depending on the speed of your craft and various other factors, but it will generally do a decent launch path if you can turn over about 5 degrees at launch, although I think we're turning over a little too quickly. Yeah, we're not going too high yet, so I'm going to turn on stability control. Hold it about here, 45, until we get going up a bit quicker. Let's try to get you back on the other side of the 90 as well. Yeah, I think we went a little low on this launch, but we're starting to get up there. So about a third of our fuel remaining in this stage, so alright, that's getting up there. I want to get that up to about 90 so we can stage and get that engine test in for the Terrier engine. Let's get that over more, I think, now. I'm basically going to run this state. It's getting a little too high. I don't want to go that high. Alright, that stage has been run out. So, next we want to get up to 90, switch the terrier here. You can actually probably stage this off at this point. Let's do that. And then we'll activate the terrier above 90. Alright, we are above 90. Oh, it says orbit. We are not in orbit yet. Let's activate this anyway. We don't need full throttle at the moment. Nah, not time warp. Let's see. Oh, we can't do maneuver nodes either. Alright, we need to get into orbit. We're about 400 meters per second shy. 500 meters per second shy? About 500 meters per second shy. Yeah, so we're approaching our apoapsis. Let's throttle up. And we do have this other engine, but we have a lot of fuel that will have to jettison to get that other engine tested. So I think I'm going to do is extend our orbit out so it almost touches this orbit, and then when we fall back in, we can get this test done, and then once we get back out, we can extend our orbit out for our final orbit. So that's going to be the plan. Let's we are in orbit now, but now we're not in the correct altitude. We're just going to raise this out. Let's see. We need to get 69 approximately. That'll, we can actually look from the top here and cut our throttle when this basically lines up. I'm gonna throttle down a bit now. So it's going out quite quick. And it's almost there. And let's say that's good. Alright, so what do we need to do? We need to lower our periapsis. So once we get out there, we have to thrust retrograde a little bit to lower our periapsis, so we can then get this test. Down to 95 should be pretty good. And then we have to come back out and then raise our periapsis to meet this orbit. How are we doing here? Oh, we're using our electric charge, but our solar panels aren't aimed correctly. Let's roll here. And while that's still not great, it is getting a little sun exposure. How about we... No, not... if we point like that, there we go, that's pretty good sun exposure there. We'll have to reorient when we get out here, but that'll keep our battery charged. Have a little battery, so let's time warp out now. We'll probably be in the shadow of Kerbin and using up some power for a bit. But here we are, emerged on the other side, and we're doing good. Alright, we're slowing down as we go out here, so I'm going to time warp even quicker. And we just have to be careful out here and not pass by our apoapsis. It's close. We may need to adjust that slightly, but I'm thinking that will be close enough for whatever the contract requires. Let's see. We are also a little off on the angle. Half a degree or slightly more. Alright. Here we are. We're out here. We need to lower our periapsis, and that means burning retrograde. So we'll have to turn to do that. And there it is. Alright, let's look at our periapsis. And I'm just going to throttle up slightly. That's great. Probably hardly used any fuel at all. Alright, let's rotate a bit more so our solar panel is... yeah, that's pretty good. And now we just have to time warp back. And this time we have to be really careful because we're going to pick up speed as we head back. So, alright, gonna slow down one step. That should be pretty good. We want to be... oh. That was pretty close, I thought. We don't really need to make an adjustment. So we're going to lose a bit of fuel. About 41 units. That's alright. As soon as we get under 104, we can stage here. And then activating this engine should count for this test. I'll wait for 100. Alright, we are all green. So let's stage in 3, 2, 1. Stage. And now we just need to activate. And that counts for the test. Alright, let's just turn so our solar cells are more exposed. And let's head back out here. Alrighty. Slow down a bit. Now basically we just need to thrust prograde at this point until the orbits match, or as match as close as possible. So let's get ready to do that. Out of time warp. Now, it's pretty close, I think. Let's turn prograde. That's retrograde. And it's pretty good. So we're gonna do this basically in the map screen here. And let's throttle up. And then we need that to be about 59-ish. Maybe 6. Alright, let's stop there. We need to... We're going a little out here, so we need to radial in slightly, I think. That is getting them lined up a bit more. Now we need just to prograde a bit more. We'll get that close to 60, I think. 6 billion. That looks good. Let's see if that... There we go. And that is basically that. Before we leave this satellite, let's just turn the solar panels more towards the sun, and let's extend the antenna. Okay, and that completes that contract, so let's head back to the Space Center. We are now at nearly 1 million funds, so we can do some building upgrades next time. That one definitely would be useful. Along with that one, so we can get surface samples, although it's not quite needed, although it will be needed before we head to the moon. So we got this satellite positioned, and we tested the Terrier liquid fuel engine. That's all for this time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with some more Kerbal Space Program.